Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. We're super excited today to have Jill Richardson here with us so that we could talk about the really meaningful work that she's doing right now. She is an award-winning video producer, artist, and digital storyteller, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I can tell from your
Thank you.
background. Look at how creative you are. You have the
Oh, thank
great
you.
visualization, you have this cool workspace. I mean, I can't wait to dig in a little deeper and find out more about how Jill does Jill.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Pleasure to
So
be
I
here.
Excellent. So I think we'll start out by just announcing and telling people who you are. I already know about you, and so does my staff, and we adore you. So we're letting our best secret out today, and that is who the heck does our video? Jill does. Jill does. Thank
Yay!
you, Jill. I love the work that you do, and maybe I'm a frustrated marketing person myself, because I love the marketing part of things, and I like most about you that makes you unique out of all the other video people that you could choose out there is really that you capture the life's essence. So you help us relay and convey to people who have no idea of what we're doing in such a way that it's in bite-sized pieces. They can take it one slice at a time, and they can actually do something with what they've seen. So oh my gosh, what an amazing craft you have crafted for yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I feel like that video obviously has matured over time and how much video people watch now has really transformed and transpired as well.
It's amazing how advanced it has come, though. How many years have you been doing it, Joe?
Well, I graduated from college, and pretty much right when I graduated from college, I knew I wanted to be involved in video production. Initially, I thought being a news reporter would be a good job, and I was always interested in just storytelling and fact checking and talking to different people and discovering different things, and that still is happening in video production. But I kind of got in. I worked briefly at KHNL in Hawaii, and
Wow.
they did the television station. They did all the live sports
Sure.
there, and that was a
Wow.
wonderful aloha experience. But then when I came back to California, I just got more into advertising and marketing and
Oh,
corporate production, just because I think that it was more opportunities here in Southern California. So
yeah.
that's kind of what I started. And gosh darn it, I have been freelancing for about 25 years
Wow. That's
as a video
crazy.
producer.
Oh
And
my
then before
goodness.
that, I worked at a production company and an advertising agency. So I really had a career being working in video production.
Yes, that's amazing. 25 years. You must have seen so many changes in that amount of time. I mean, my goodness,
Yeah,
from even using a handheld phone today to all the big cameras and the lighting and the oh my gosh, when you came to video us, you brought your crew, which was super cool. But
right.
I can't imagine, how much it's changed. I mean, it must be like day and night, literally.
Yes. That is so true, Kathy, because, video like technology has evolved. I think that, it has advanced, but I feel that the importance of video is still stronger than ever.
Oh my
I
gosh. Yeah.
do.
I'd
Yeah.
say it only the last 25 years has just lifted it up even more, right?
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
before we didn't have the technology, so we didn't have access to it as regular people, right? It had to be you, the technicians, the subject matter experts. You guys were the ones that had the mystery and the secrets, all behind all
Right.
of that. And
That's true.
now you've taken off the face of the secrets. The man behind the curtain, so to speak, doesn't exist anymore.
And to that point, I think that there really is, a creativity about developing a brand.
Yeah.
And, if you have a spokesperson, for instance, or the logo design, I mean, there's so much craft and creativity, but it really is meant for the consumer. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking about high-end advertising, but I think to that point, now video, we have these influencers and we have these videos that sometimes just go off of animals, So it really does. I think that the importance is still there because it does create a feeling or emotion, and
For
so
sure. Instant,
yeah,
instantly. I mean,
yeah,
it's
and
amazing.
yeah. And,
Crazy.
before I think advertising, it's still there as far as crafting and messaging and whatnot, but we have a lot more now to as competitions or just to look at. So it's
Yeah.
definitely, we have a lot more.
Yeah, which is good because I think in your industry it was hard to have, structure to it because everybody was so creative. And now you have this process you can follow. And if they're really good, like you are, they're going to follow that process and they're going to make sure that their clients are happy. So let's talk
Yeah.
about those clients that have been happy with
Yeah.
you. I
Yeah.
mean, I see Disney, I see Toyota, I see Hyundai. I mean, how does that happen to an entrepreneur for 25 years?
Well, I've been very blessed and fortunate just to work with a lot of creative production companies and individuals here in Orange County. All of those clients really were Orange County based. And again, a lot of that just is over time, and trust and experience. So I feel that working with a lot of those companies, like Disneyland, for instance, I worked with a production company that had them as a client. And so it was such a privilege to work with Disney, the creative directors and
Oh, yeah.
writers. And every week we would have these meetings to develop. Again, this, a show at that time, it was a live event show at Disneyland. And it would take over a year to produce a show that would be
Wow.
like 30 minutes,
Oh
because
my
of just
gosh.
the creativity involved with that, but it
Yeah.
had lasting effects
Oh
because
my gosh.
obviously something like Disneyland and making that kind of extravagant type of show, it has to carry on, for
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And you were part of that, such an important
yeah,
part. So how
yeah,
cool is that? So
yeah.
so on the other client lists that you have and interesting work you've done in that 25 years, is there anything that stands out a little bit more than another that our audience could learn from? I mean, I'm one of them, obviously, because I'm a small entrepreneur and businesswoman, very strong and very motivated, and just want to use video to help connect my prospects to us in such a great way. So we just redid our website, and so the video is absolutely perfect for it right now. And so I am a struggling, growing expert in my field, but I need help because I'm just a little baby company. I'm not a billion-dollar company organization. So tell us who you like to work with. Tell us maybe an interesting project that you've had in the past, so that we can kind of start to figure out how to either refer to you or to call you ourselves.
Well, it is interesting because I think that every business realizes the value of video right now and how essential and important
Yes.
it is.
Good job.
And and I do think that people also realize, the difference of a good lighting. Like both of us right now have great lighting and good audio and just the core essentials to make any video good has to be those kind of core essentials: good lighting, good audio,
Right.
good messaging. And I think that for a lot of small businesses, that when you have just kind of like a basic understanding of what you need to have, and again, those principles of messaging, are you doing a training video or are you doing explaining video?
Great point. Yeah.
The president of the company type of video talking about customer relations, testimonial. You kind of need
Understood.
you need to understand what type of video you are needing to carry whatever message. And I think that that's really important to find. I think that testimonial videos are just wonderful to have, just generally speaking, for any
Excellent.
company or in business. Having satisfied customers talk about their experiences about your service or,
Oh,
or
yes.
product just carries that genuine authentic self, and people can trust that. So, there's different ways about about the need for a video and identifying what you need. But I think with understanding the need, and then what kind of good lighting, and what I was saying earlier, those components really make any video great for a business.
Mhm.
And let me just add too that I think a lot of times, for training or messaging, like for, CEO talking, that could be different. But people's, um, just how much they focus now is so short-lived. So messaging has to be very kind of condensed and somewhat like, 30 seconds to 2 minutes right now. I'm sorry to
Mhm.
say, but that's kind of where we're at right now as well. That
Wow.
broken up messaging, if it's a bigger message, but just kind of identifying how effective people can retain messaging, that also comes with experience. So,
I bet. Now, I actually love the fact that you're talking about doing testimonials for your clients because that's an area I see on LinkedIn that really does not get used as much as it should. And wow, would that be amazing, right? To have that. So I think at the end of this, the people that are listening to this that want to really elevate their LinkedIn and their website, they'll think about reaching out to you, Jill, to do those testimonial videos because they're quite easy to do, number one. And number two, they're so effective. They're like, I
they
mean, I
are.
rebranded and do all this stuff, but the reality is you just have some good videos is what you need, to get people's
Yeah.
attention. So that's super fun to know.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, I mean, I look for testimonials, I look for
Yes.
reviews,
Yes.
pretty much for anything when I'm looking
Agree.
for product now, So
Yeah.
I think that it's just something, and obviously affordable and happy, satisfied customers carries a lot of weight. It's a evergreen video that is always useful to have for sure.
That's excellent. That's such great advice, Jill. I think that's one of the big takeaways of this conversation is don't think that a testimonial is just a testimonial. It actually will elevate your company stronger and faster than most anything you could do. As a seasoned producer, what's something that you wish you knew about back in the day that you now know about, but you thought, doggone it, I wish I'd known that 10 years earlier.
Uh, I think that I think that hard work and truly, going in above and beyond what was needed throughout my career is really invaluable. And when I was my younger producer, I thought that, oh, this hard work thing was going to stop. And I really think that people value hard work. I think that most people who are successful see that and see
See
that
that.
spark and see the value in hard work and understand it. And I think that now that, with my experience, I think that I would have told my younger self that hard work is always going to be, expected and needed if you're going to thrive in your business, for any business,
Wow, what great advice. I mean, my goodness, because it does seem like, I know I'm more mature, but the younger ones coming up have that same mentality, right? Where they don't really think that you should work that hard for your job. You should do work. They believe in work, but not so much, of it, like the old people do, So I think it's great to be able to help that transition and bring those people in to the real work. And the real work is creating value and making a serious contribution like you do, and making sure that you make the world a better place, just one day at a time. That's it. That's all our role is. So the next
yeah.
question I have is how has working across corporate branded content and broadcasting shaped your producer style? You kind of address that a little bit because you've had so much
Yeah.
exposure after 25
Yeah.
years, but what is the style of Jill?
The style. I think you need to ebb and flow in freelance. And I feel that now, for instance, my skill set about like I'm on Canva, I
Yeah.
know how to design up my own website.
Wow, that's
I
so
feel that
cool.
you're doing my capabilities has kind of expanded because, technology and just having a broader understanding of how that looks and feels. I think the difference with like corporate and branding and broadcast production, you know, it's all kind of a consistent as far as I take my experience as a producer and help,
Mhm.
each of those productions. I think it boils down to money.
Okay.
I think that, having a broadcast commercial, a national broadcast commercial, which I've done in the past and continue to, look for, it's just a different budget, a different level. But
Hmm.
again, the hard work, the focus, the creating networks and building trust and working,
Hmm.
always comes into play. So
Hmm.
that, I think that the difference is my experience is helping each of those projects, but the budgets are different. A corporate
Hmm.
production can
Hmm.
be as simple as maybe two people doing a training video with, a department inside a corporation that truly needs a good training video,
Yes.
but, doesn't needs the support of a video production to help them, tell that story or make that training video. So, and that could be again kind of a smaller, but still needed, and the value of a good production will last years to come.
Another question.
Thank you.
I have a few more here.
Okay, okay.
Where do you, Miss Shmi, subject matter expert, see video production heading in the next few years? And where do humans how are they going to fit in with AI and, all that stuff? Is there any of that you can
Hmm.
help us with? Because we don't know. We're scared.
Yeah, it's a good question. Where are we going to go with AI?
Yes.
Well, this is the good news. I think that feelings and emotions will always play the biggest part in people's time and effort in watching video. You know, how how emotions are when you watch a video, you can cry, you can feel hate, you can feel
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
passion, you can feel love, all of those emotions,
So true.
human emotions, AI cannot do.
Exactly.
And I feel that that is kind of, for me, at least, a comfort. I feel like we just recently had the Super Bowl, and I was thinking about how many halftime Super Bowl people watch, and that emotion, or just even the game, I mean, just
Yes.
that whole,
Yep.
Super Bowl Sunday and how people feel during those
Yes.
games. It's just so interesting. That's not video, but it is a stream of video,
Oh,
you
for
know what I mean,
sure.
for
Yeah.
watching.
You can
And
do that.
so I feel like that human emotions are always going to be much more prominent
Hmm.
than AI can ever convey. And
Hmm.
so I feel that there is going to, that component will always help. AI, it's interesting because I think that for me, I just am embracing it, like
Yes.
technology, like the internet, like our
Good job.
phone. You know, we all had these things before they arrived. And so I think that AI is here to stay. I think that it's something that we either need to embrace and work with it, or, not. But either way, it's here to stay.
Yeah. You can take it or you can leave it, but either way, it's going to take you.
Right, right, right.
So it's
And
best to be ahead of it, right? It's best to
yeah,
be ahead of it.
yeah. And AI never has emotions. So I think that that is, for me, kind of the difference of what, distinguishes humans about AI, is that we are working with it, but it can never cry or it can never
Yeah.
feel love,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think that's where you and I are safe because when people fall in love with their candidates, when we send a candidate out, it's going to be that way or not. It has nothing to
yeah,
do with anything else, right? But it will not work if you have no emotion because there is, I mean, there is a lot of people that are a feeling of respect and camaraderie and communication and sort of a alignment with those people. And if you aren't aligned, like we're so aligned, you and I, we could hang out for the rest of our lives and be just
I wish
perfectly
we could
fine.
on a beach.
Exactly, exactly. The checks will just be deposited. But you have to be aligned, right? Or you just
Right,
don't. It's like this instead of like this, right?
right.
So, but the video and the messaging that you're responsible for really, really make a difference. And I think mostly you can tell it's AI now, but it's going to get better and better, so you won't be able to tell. And
Right.
what will happen there is that people will not know which is the right answer, which is the wrong answer, where now you sort of can figure it out when you do your research. So I think
Mhm.
that's where people like you, Jill, are going to help us a great deal amount, because you're going to be able to say this is the what the message is for this organization, this whatever you're dealing with for the marketing and the video and all that. And then you're going to say, but this is what you're going to hear about, and that's this way. We don't want to do that, right? Because of this
Mhm.
problem. So they'll be
Mhm.
looking to you, the SME subject matter expert, to tell us who do we listen to? Who is the expert? Who isn't? And I'm only going to take your advice. I'm not going to take anybody else's advice because I don't know them, right? I don't
Yeah.
know, like, and trust them. And that's what I have to have. So I'm so excited about you for that, because I think this AI thing is going to just create more work, because it's easier for people who are smaller to do it now, but they just
Yes.
won't do it right is the problem. So they need someone like you coaching them sort of behind their shoulder, saying you can do this, you can do that. No, don't do that, it's a little too crazy. Or, oh, that is great, because you're the person, you've got the 25 years. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so do you feel like this is another great question, I think, and that is, do you feel like professional video still holds a lot of value in that fast content work you were talking about? 30 seconds, I think I wrote down 30 seconds to 2 minutes.
Mhm.
You said, I'm like,
Mhm.
I got to write that
Mhm.
down. That is really scary to me.
I do think that people still see the value of a good video. And I
Excellent.
think that a professional video, people still realize the difference of a professional and not a professional. And it's something almost like your mind just in instantly sees. And not that is good or bad, but you would never have like Coca-Cola, for instance. The difference of a brand for a Coke commercial, and then someone just opening up and spraying Coke on them. It still
Yeah,
it conveys different feelings, but it does have a difference of like, a person's perception for value.
understood.
And I think if you had just all of these home videos about one product, people wouldn't perceive that as valuable or as a serious brand. They
Right,
wouldn't.
right.
And so I think that still you have to think about that. I
Hmm.
mean, you have to have that consideration of trying to do a video the best you can, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
with what means you have, but you
Hmm.
still need to get it out there. You still need to do it. And I think that video is super important for any kind of business right now. So it needs to happen. But you need to do it kind of, professionally. I think that one of the things, Kathy, that we were talking about is you are wonderful on camera, but when we came to your house and did a video production of just question and answers, that does have a different look and feel than just something, spontaneously in the office of picking
Yes,
up something.
yes,
And
yes.
so I think that was, I think that, and again, for your business, the
Yep.
difference of you have it all because you know the value of video, but I
Yes,
think that people, you would most likely have something, a video that you love on your website landing page,
yes, yes,
like
yes.
talking about what makes Dawson and
Us
Dawson
different.
outstanding. And
Yep.
so
Love
you
that.
would have something different on your, what your professional best foot forward would be, as
Understood.
composed to just continuing, of your promoting your brand on your
Yeah.
social media feeds.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like it's more about experiences too, with the branding now and the social media and, the whole strategy, the visual, you call it visual identity. So I'm just overwhelmed by all of that and know that what I like the Clydesdale commercial at Super
Yeah.
Bowl, who doesn't cry?
Right?
I mean, oh my gosh, right? So it's a great example right there for us all. So, is there anything else that you would like to talk about that we haven't discussed before we end this call? Because I feel like we've gotten a lot, but I wanted to make sure you had that opportunity to be able to say, gosh, after everything we've discussed, there is one more thing, or maybe you can drive home another message. Just, you have a few
Yeah.
more minutes here to wow us with anything you might
Yeah.
want to.
Well, I think it's been such a great honor to be talking about this. And I think that we really did touch on some important things about working hard and having that expectation of working hard is so important. Another thing I think that is very valuable are connections. I really value connections, and I feel that relationships are the most important in life, and in business.
Totally
And
agree.
I feel that even if you don't necessarily work with, your peer or a colleague, people will remember you if you're kind, or people will remember you if you volunteered for this organization. So I just think the longer I live, the more I realize that it's just important to get out there and get connected,
Yes,
find more ways of connecting and talking and engaging, and people will respond to that, and
absolutely.
you'll see your efforts flourish.
That's awesome. And you do follow your own advice because I see Jill on social media and she's always with people whenever she
Yeah,
can be. She's
I
outside and
try.
she's with other people. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you are following your own advice, which is amazing. Because it's
I
great. It's
try.
easy to give great advice, but then do you really take it yourself? Maybe
Yeah,
yes, maybe no. So what I wanted
thank
to
you.
say was my last parting words about Jill is Jill doesn't just produce content. No, 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 no. She does not. She tells stories and she brings them to life, like this video we're doing today. Do you feel us hugging each other? We really are, but it just does. You can't see it. She champions connections and inspires others to live boldly, joyfully, and wholeheartedly. Like she is in it to win it, baby. And
Yeah.
it's the life. You're winning in life, Jill, and we're happy to be associated with you and can't wait
Oh,
to
thank
see
you so much.
how well this does for you and for us combined because, together we're better, no doubt.
No doubt. Thank you so much, Kathy. It's
Oh,
just been delightful being on this podcast.
yes, you too. I can't wait for our next one. All
Yeah.
right. See you
All
later.
right.
Bye, everybody.